Hello, dear students. Welcome back to another English class from your second evaluation syllabus. Today, we'll be starting a new chapter that is Unit 4, Section 3 Death Walk in Their Midst. So, this is basically a tragic story which have a very unfortunate ending. We'll get to know by the end of the chapter. So before that, we will see some plots and subplots, and by the end of the story, we will see how this story ends very tragically. So before that, let me introduce you to the characters of the story. The first character is Amit. Then we have Bimal. Then we have Lakshmi Devi. Then we have Babli. Then we have the village headman, and at last we will have Madan Lal. So here, the central character is basically Amit and Lakshmi Devi, and around them the whole story revolves. So let's begin the chapter. The sun was setting when the group of four children, women and six children was on its way to see Mahabharata. The sun was setting when the group of four women and six children was on its way to see the Mahabharata. So it was the time of dusk, just when the sun was about to set. A group of four women and six children were on their way on its way to see Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is a play, so they were on their way to see that play Mahabharata. So they were on foot and they were going to see the Mahabharata. Night crept over the barren plain dotted with bushes, and on both sides of the narrow road a November wind made their nose cold. So now we will learn about the scenario, or the setup of the particular scene. So it was night. It was almost not fully night, but it was about the sunset. So it was a barren plain. Means what? There were not much tree around, and there were bushes on both the side of the road. And since it was November, so a cold wind blew over the barren plain, barren land. Amit took little Vimal's hand and whistled softly. Amit, the main character, he is older than Bimal. Bimal was a little kid. Amit was a teenager basically. So he was holding the hand of Bimal and he was walking. And at the same time, he was blowing whistle with his lips. Let's follow the railway track, suggested Lakshmi Devi, and they reached the railway line. It's easier to cross the Nala that way. So there was a small channel. So Lakshmi Devi suggested that let's follow the railway track. So we can understand that their habitat or their dwelling was somewhat home was somewhat near the railway track. So they knew the railway line very so they knew the railway, they were very much aware about the railway tracks. They were very much familiar with the railway tracks and the timetable of the timetable of the trains. So Lakshmi Devi, she was the central character, one of the central characters. So from the group of six children and four women, Lakshmi Devi was one of the four women. So she suggested that let us follow the railway track. So there is a nala, there is a channel, so it is very easier to cross it that way. But is it safe? Now Amit has a concern about this decision. Amit was, he was not feeling very much good about that decision. So he asked Lakshmi Devi that is it safe to walk through the railway track? Safer than the road. No trains come at this time. Come on, let's hurry. We shouldn't be late. So Lakshmi Devi, she assured Amit that yes, it is safer, much more safer, even safer than the road. Because at this time, because a train has a fixed schedule of traveling, right? So since they were living near the railway track, so they knew very well when trains pass through these tracks. So she said that it is much more even safer than the roads, because they knew at this time, at this particular point of time, no train crosses the railway track. So it is 100% safe, she assured. So she also suggested to hurry because they didn't want to get late for the play. Slowly, ma, I can't run so fast. he heard a boy cry from behind, and little Bubbly in Lakshmi Devi's arm started to whine. So group of six children, and from them Lakshmi Devi's kid, Lakshmi Devi's son, he cried or he complained from behind to walk slowly, because since he was a kid, it was difficult for him to keep pace with their speed. So he complained and he shouted from the behind to walk slowly. And at the same time, Bubbly, this character, Bubbly, the daughter of Lakshmi Devi, she started to whine. New word, WHINE, whine. Whine means to complain. To complain by crying. So imagine you want, take for example, you want a new gaming console, and you started to ask for, you say to your father to provide it to you, so he denied. So you started what? You started to cry. You started to complain to your mother. Your father is not providing you a gaming console, whereas your friends have it, right? So this type of complaining while crying is known as whining. So Bubbly was whining because she was, I think, bored. Soothe Lakshmi Devi, don't cry, will soon be there. Now, do you know the story of Shakuntala? New word, soothe. Means made quiet. So if you have a younger sibling, so when they cry, so you do what? You sing them lullabies, you sing them song to keep them quiet. So this is called soothing, to keep some, to make somebody calm down. So Lakshmi Devi tried to calm down Bubbly, and she did what? She decided to narrate the story of Shakuntala to keep all the children busy, because they were walking and the children were probably getting bored. Yes, teased Amit quite well. I have heard it hundreds of times. Now Amit, he was the eldest of all the kids, right? So this means what? He had been with Lakshmi Devi for quite a while, so he knew that every time Lakshmi Devi narrated a story, it was the story of Shakuntala. She narrated it over and over and over again. So he felt quite bored because he was listening to it for probably the hundredth of time, right? So he mocked, or he, teased Lakshmi Devi. Said, okay, fine, you are telling the same story a hundred of time, and he was probably getting bored and annoyed because he heard the story of Shakuntala from Lakshmi Devi over 100 times. So it was nothing new to Amit. All right, began Lakshmi Devi, unperturbed. Here is Shakuntala's story for those who don't know and for those who have heard it over hundreds of times. Unperturbed. Unperturbed. Unperturbed, as you can see in your book, means what? Undisturbed. So from this line, we can, from this sentence, we find that Lakshmi Devi was kind of bossy in nature, right? So she decided to narrate the story of Shakuntala, no matter what, either Amit liked it or not, everybody liked it or not. She decided she will say it, she will narrate the story. So Amit, of course, he didn't like it because he had heard the story over hundreds of times. But she was adamant, she was bossy, and she says, all right, I am going to narrate the story of Shakuntala. It's for all those people who are listening it for the first time, and as well as it is also for those people who have already listened to it for the hundredth of time. No matter you are listening it for the first time or you are listening for the hundredth of time, you have to listen. So there is no choice, much of a choice. So Amit is bound to listen to the story, although he didn't want it. So Lakshmi Devi began to narrate the story of Shakuntala. Amit groaned in mock boredom, but he listened, forgetting time and place, as Lakshmi Devi brought to the life of sorrow and joys of King and Shakuntala. So Shakuntala is a story, is a mythical story of a lady, right, and a king. is a story from Hindu mythology. So she started narrating it. And Amit, as I said before, that he heard the story of hundreds of times and he was getting very much bored, right? He was getting bored. So he started to grow. No, I don't want to listen it for the 100th time. He was getting, of course, he was getting bored. So he groaned in mock boredom. Boredom is what he was getting bored. But Lakshmi Devi started to narrate it. Forgetting the time and place, Lakshmi Devi okay, she was narrating the story of Shakuntala, which was full of tragedy and joy and sorrow. So she narrated the story. All was silent except for Lakshmi Devi's point, but suddenly Amit paused. Wasn't there a slight shaking on the track? So imagine, it was night, almost night, it was dark. A group of four women and six children were heading to see a story. It was in a barren plain. So it was only Lakshmi Devi who was narrating the story, and rest all of them were silent. It was a pin drop silent. Only you can listen to the voice of Lakshmi Devi. And suddenly, Amit felt a jerk. Amit felt a shake, and he was, lost in some kind of thought after listening to the shake. Sorry, after feeling that shake. Wasn't there is a slight shaking on the track? Now we already know that they were walking on the railway track, and Amit felt a slight shake of the railway track. He tried to look into the darkness before him, then turned out. Shh, shh. She said, "Isn't there a train coming?" He said, "Isn't there a train coming?" So Amit got alarmed. Amit got, very much, he felt in his sixth sense that there is something wrong going to happen, something terrible going to happen. So he wanted everybody to keep quiet, to assure that if to make sure that if something coming approaching towards them or not. So he asked everybody to be silent because he felt the shake of the track. He tried to look into the darkness before him and turned around. She said, "Isn't there a train?" So he stopped everybody and he, looked toward the direction from where a train might come. So he saw that there is darkness over the horizon and no train is approaching. A train, shake the children panicking. So when Amit, he felt that there shake of the train, he stopped everybody and started to look at the dark horizon, anticipating whether a train is arriving or not. But when the children got to know about his fear or about his, fear of whether a train is approaching or not, the children, they started to panic. They started to shout, a train, what to do? A train is arriving and we are on the middle of the railway track. The train may crush us, and it will kill us. So the children, they started to panic and they tried and they started creating tantrum all over. They started to throw tantrum. Ah, scolded Lakshmi Devi, what nonsense. At this time, no train has ever passed this track and never will. Behave yourself. Amit, stop scaring the children and don't interrupt me all the time. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, Shakuntala wept. So, from the beginning, in the previously we have learned that Lakshmi Devi was a bit bossy in nature, and when Amit was alarmed and he wanted to know about the train approaching, so he stopped Shakuntala from telling the story. And when Shakuntala stopped and she stopped to narrate the story, she felt bothered. And when the children started to create a fuss, she felt even more bothered, right? She felt, disturbed. She said, Amit, don't, what nonsense is this, right? She started to scold Amit. What kind of nonsense is this? At this time, no train passes through this railway track. So stop making this nonsense. Stop scaring the children out. Stop freaking the children out and listen to the story. I know you are feeling bored, and that is why you are trying to, stop me from narrating the story. So I'll continue. Where was I? Yes, Shakuntala wept. So she started narrating the story again. Where was I? Yes, Shakuntala was crying. Wept means crying. Maybe Lakshmi Devi was right. He had never had a train coming this track at 8 o'clock in the evening. Now the time was 8 p.m. So now Amit also, he started to realize, or he realized, yes, Lakshmi Devi might be right, because he was also living near the railway track. At this point of time, no train ever crosses this track. So maybe it was just his imagination, or he felt something which doesn't even exist. Stay close together, shouted Lakshmi Devi, but the wind carried her words away. Little Bimal shivered and held Amit's hand tighter. At night, a barren plain. So there was a wind, a November wind rushing, blowing all over. So she was narrating the story, and the wind was carrying away her words. And the children were unable to listen to her narration. So she instructed all the children to stay close to her so that they can listen to the story quite well. And at this point, this guy, Bimal, he started to feel cold because of the wind. So, in order to get some warmth, he did what? He clung to Amit a bit tighter so that he could get some heat. Hurry, hurry, urged the woman as she herded the small group. Uh, okay, as she herded the small group over the bridge, a great haste. They pushed forward with Amit in the lead. They had reached the middle of the bridge when suddenly another shaking ran through the rails. So Lakshmi Devi instructed the group to hurry up because they don't want to get late. So they were in the middle of the bridge. Suppose I'm not good at drawing that much, so still I'll try to make it up to you. Suppose this is a railway track, right? And they were in the middle of the bridge. In the both the side, uh, there was bridge. So the railway track is on the middle of the bridge. So they were somewhat in the middle of the bridge, and they were telling. So Lakshmi Devi was instructing everyone to hurry up so that they can cross the bridge. So everybody was there, and when by the time they reached in the middle of the bridge, they felt another shake, and then it happened. It happened so fast that nobody could realize what happened. It happened so fast. It happened in a nick of a second, right? It happened in a nick of a second, and nobody realized what actually happened. And after few seconds, we see the whole scene was in a very bad condition. Let us get it. The bridge is shaking. So they felt the shake, cried the woman. Another woman, she started to cry that the bridge is shaking. That means what? There is something approaching. Ma, the bridge is breaking, screaming a girl horrified. Another girl from the group of 6 children, she started to shout, Ma, the bridge is shaking. It's about to break. Nonsense, shouted Lakshmi Devi against the wind. It's the wind, hurry, hurry. But Lakshmi Devi, she was adamant. She was adamant. She was, she was not accepting, yes, there is something approaching toward the wind. She thought that it was the wind which was shaking the bridge. Okay. And she again said to hurry up. There is something was coming. Amit could feel it in the air, something rushing on the wings of the night. It was hurtling. It was hurtling forward. A train. Now Amit was sure that there is something approaching towards them. Amit was now fully alarmed because he felt the shake for the first time, and now the shake started to grow even more frequent, and now he is feeling that there is something approaching toward the bridge, and it was a train. Vimal, Lakshmi Devi, run. Now he started to shout. Now he started to shout and to warn everybody. He wanted to save everybody. He said everybody to run. Vimal, run. Lakshmi Devi, run. Babli, everybody run. Save your lives because a train is approaching towards them. Right? But there was no time. But it was already too late. It was already too late. Had Lakshmi Devi had listened to Amit's warning before, they could have been saved, but it was already late. They were in the middle of the bridge. The train is approaching. He could already feel the steaming engine in front of him. not more than 50 yards away. It was bound to run them down. He could feel the engine, sense it, but was unable to see. It was a ghost train without light. Now, why they were not able to see the train? Because the headlight, the light of the train was switched off. So as you see that it was very unfortunate. At this moment, no train was supposed to pass the railway track, and if a train passed, then it had the front light lit. But neither the light of the train was lit, and neither a train was supposed to come at that moment. So they in no way could anticipate a train coming. But although Amit felt something, nobody listened. Especially Lakshmi Devi did not pay much attention to his warning, and a ghost train came. Ghost train means not a train which is literally a ghost. It was a train with no lights on. So that is why they could not see the train. A train came. Jump, everybody jump. So to save their life, Amit instructed everybody jump. Lifting Bimal, Amit leaped off the track and pressed himself against the steel girders of the bridge. Now Amit did what? He lifted Bimal. He lifted Bimal and pressed himself against the steel girder. You see the bridge, right? The bridge is made up of steel, right? So he did what? He jumped from the railway track and he hold Amit and he pressed him against the steel girders, right? So he tried to keep Bimal as far as away from the railway track, but there was very less space. The strong gust, he turned his face to the right and saw the massive black shadow of the steaming engine in the dark thunder towards them. So he was holding Amit was holding pressing Bimal against the steel girder. At the same time, he was looking towards the right because the train was approaching from the right and there was no light, and he could feel the thundering noise, loud rumbling noise of the train, and the train was passing away. Oh God, help us! Amit clung to the coal steel grader. The strong gust of the speeding engine nearly knocked on his feet. And Amit was praying to the God to save their life. And the strong rumbling noise of the sound and the shaking of the bridge, almost knocked Amit down. Ghost like as suddenly as it came through, engine vanished. The silence that followed was frightening. Lakshmi Devi, bubbly, Amit called out, but no answer came. So the train left, and Amit and Bimal were saved. But when the train left, it was silent. The whole plane was silent. Amit shouted, calling Lakshmi Devi, bubbly, but nobody answered. There was silence. The silence crept about the whole plane. And it was quite terrifying. Amit froze because he could not listen to the sound of any of his beloved ones. Amit called out, but no answer came. Fear gripped him. Suddenly, he heard baby cry. He knew it was Bubbly. He picked up her, and she was bleeding. All the others were dead. So there was silence all over the plane. He got terrified. Suddenly, he heard the crying of a little baby girl. He knew it was Bubbly, was who was safe. Although she was injured, but she was alive. He felt dizzy, but fought against it. He knew he could leave immediately without second delay, but could not. Come, Bimal, hold my hand, said Amit in a trembling voice. We have to get help. So he could have left immediately, but he wanted to make sure, or he wanted to know if he could save anybody. All of a sudden, he heard Bubbly's voice, so he grabbed Bubbly and he said Amil to hold his hand, and they were rushing to get some help from nearby. But in his heart he knew that help would come too late. Although they were in the middle of nowhere, there was no near village or no houses nearby. He knew that it would be too late before they get any help. He turned away and started on his long journey through the night towards the nearest village. He left the railway line, searching off the road, gripping Bimal's hand tightly and pressing the injured baby against his chest. He groped his way through the dark. So he started walking towards the nearby village, which was very far away. He held Bubbly tight to his chest. He clung her tight to his chest. or because she was bleeding, and with other hand he was holding Bimal, and he was, making his way through the darkness to save that little baby girl. Reeling with exhaustion, almost falling, he knocked at the door of the first hut. He was very much exhausted. Exhausted. EXHAUST, it exhausted. EXHAUST, it exhausted means very much tired. He was exhausted. He was exhausted, and he knocked at the door of the first hut, first village home which he encountered, and he felt right on the doorstep of that hut because he was too exhausted, and he knocked. Help, he cried, help, a doctor, the baby, she is dying. He was crying for help, he was shouting for help, right? Because the baby Bubbly which he was carrying was bleeding, she was injured, and he wanted to save that baby, and he was asking for help. He called the owner of that house, and he was shouting to get some help, to get a doctor so that they can save the life of that little baby girl. In less than a minute, the whole village had crowded around him. So he was shouting for help, and in less than a minute, the whole village, they heard the scream of Amit, and they gathered around him. What happened, boy? What is it? He is covered with blood. Are you injured? The men, the people of the village, they crowded around him. They gathered around him and saw him, covered with blood, and they were concerned, and they said, Amit, what happened to you, boy? Are you injured? Why are you covered with blood? Amit said, not me, the baby, save her, please. Amit shouted, Amit pleaded to them, it is not me who is injured, it is the baby that I am carried. She is injured, she is about to die, please help her, please call a doctor. Don't cry, boy, you are not to be blamed. But it was too late. But Bubbly had already, given up on her life. She was already dead. Don't cry, boy, you are not to be blamed. You did your best. You have done more than any of us could have. Now the village, the people of the village, they were consoling, expressing their sympathy, towards him. They were consoling Amit. Do not worry, boy, do not cry, boy, do not blame yourself, because you did what you could. You did everything to save that little baby girl. You did more than what we also could have done. You did everything to save that baby, but she died. It's not your fault. You are not the one to blame. You are not the one to blame, because the child has already lost enough blood. She was already badly injured, and that is why she died. You are not the one to blame, so don't blame yourself, boy. She died. It's not you to blame. Then turning to the man on his left, the headman saying, take the boy home, Madan Lal. Go, boy. God be with you. Amit, Bimal and Madan Lal, carrying the dead baby girl, left. They returned silently, if his death itself was walking in their midst. So the village headman, our next character, he suggested a man from his village group. The name of the man was Madan Lal. He ordered Madan Lal to take Amit and Bimal to their village, so that they were already tired, to take them to their home. So after they rested for a while, they returned to their village silently, as if death walked in their midst. While they were going to see the play, there were a group of 6 children and 4 women, but they were returning only a couple of children, 2 children, right? So it was silent. They were sad. They were mourning over the death of their beloved ones, because they have lost a lot of their beloved one on that very particular night. So they are walking silently back to their villages, and they were sad. They were mourning. It felt like death is walking along with them. They were in the middle of the death, because they have witnessed the death of many lives that particular night. So with this, the discussion of this chapter came to an end. You read the chapter in your home. You go through the chapter once again, and if you find any difficulty in understanding anything, you call me. You call in the prescribed contact details. We'll answer you, inshallah. And do subscribe to Al Hira National School channel for more update. With this, have a nice day. Thank you.